Welcome back to the show. I was having an okay day today, and then I remembered something. I remembered that my wife is getting a paycheck this week because she gets paid bi-monthly. Yeah. So have you ever had that happen? Are you ever worried about finances? Like you're looking at your money and then you go, "Oh, wait a minute. My wife's getting a paycheck." It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to know that I only have to hold out 3 more days because she didn't get a paycheck last week. Right. And it was a little upsetting because I said, "Where's your paycheck?" I said, "Honey, what's happening? There's supposed to be a paycheck in here. Where's the paycheck?" But she's getting it this week. So, 3 more days and that sweet, sweet wife's direct deposit is going to hit my bank account. And yeah, it's very good. If you guys don't have a wife, if you're not married, guys, I would highly recommend you go out and you try to get married. Try to find a woman to settle down with because there's no better feeling than your wife getting a paycheck. It's one of the great joys of life. I think about all the books I'm going to buy with her paycheck money.
I thought you were on your library shit.
I am, but the selection's not like great, and it's nice to own books. I built a shelf last weekend. Yeah, I put a shelf up above my.
We need
you want
a
me to
shelf.
hang that? Oh, I'll hang that for you.
No, I think
You're
he's on
looking
it.
for
But,
oh, okay.
I mean, if you can just get it done sooner rather than later.
Sure. Yeah, of course. No, hey, 2 goys are better than 1.
Wait, I went to a restaurant, not to take over the show.
No,
but
please.
I went to a restaurant last night. It was my friend's boyfriend's graduation party.
Okay.
The restaurant is spelled.
Your friend's boyfriend is graduating from what? I hope film school.
Imagine, like, middle school. No, master's. Oh my God, what was I going to say? Oh, the restaurant is spelled Xixa. It's a Mexican restaurant. Mm-hmm. It's pronounced Shixa.
Okay.
And like we were all laughing about it, like so funny, Shixa restaurant, whatever. A few of us were Jewish, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Turns out that's intentional. It's a white Jewish guy that owns the restaurant, not a Mexican owner or co-owner or anything. It's a white Jewish guy that owns the restaurant, and he's married to a non-Jewish white woman. Mm-hmm. No one's Mexican. Mm-hmm. 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 And like he named it after that. It's spelled Xixa.
Yes. We can't stand for this. We have to start putting flyers up in the neighborhood. We need to get like a mob of people together to go. We'll just go to the restaurant and see what happens. We'll just get a mob of angry Gen Z people, left, right, and then we'll stand out and see. See what happens. So, but I have been peeing a lot. I've been peeing a lot lately, and I peed before I left. I always pee before I leave. I pee when I don't have to go. Now I'm literally what? I'm hitting the mic. Oh, I forget. Yeah, we made a bunch of signals. You were like, if you're acting like a whiny. I'm going to give you this signal. If you're bitching about your life too much, if you're acting like a fat tard.
It's mostly just a signal for when you're hitting the microphone. You always do that.
Okay. Yeah, but maybe that's part of my process.
Okay, but then it has to become part of my process to run it through DaVinci Resolve's AI voice isolator, which is obviously not hard. It's a couple of clicks, but it makes the export take longer, and that's annoying.
Can I wear like some boxing gloves or something? Or can I? Okay, so this is bad. Don't do this. All right, I got it. But yeah, I pee all the time, and I'm getting winded a lot. And I'm working out. I went to the gym a couple days, and I did legs. I did legs. My back is sore because I haven't deadlifted in a while. What I'm getting at is I do kind of feel like I've been like I actually am preparing for death. I am kind of actively preparing for death, and I just because I feel like I can't. When I walk up the stairs, I get winded. I pee a lot, and my legs, my back and my legs hurt. So my hamstrings hurt so bad. Like it's like I feel almost incapacitated. And I only did literally I did 3 sets of leg curls, 2 sets of deadlifts, and 2 sets of squats at the gym. I'm trying to take it easy, and I'm still
Can I ask you something?
And I'm just
Do you stretch?
No. But I guess I should. But then when do you stretch? Do you stretch before the workout, after the workout? I feel like you should be able to send your woman to the gym. Go to gym.
She can't go to the gym because she's busy bringing home that bi-weekly paycheck for you.
Yes.
If you took care of her financially, she would probably go to the gym all the time.
That sweet 3-day-a-week paycheck that we depend on. Yeah. But tomorrow I got off. Tomorrow she's working. I got off. So it's good. Right now it's a good arrangement. I can't complain, and I feel very blessed. All right, let's get into some of our stories, eh? All right, so you know what I noticed? I noticed that the guy who was accusing the Indian guy who was accusing friend of the show Lorna Hajdini of sexual harassment, he was dropped by his lawyer. So, I think we were right in our hypothesis. Shout out to our beautiful, perfect queen, who we actually know very little about. We don't know anything about. We don't know anything about her. There's 2 photos of her. We don't have any. She's never done a podcast or any kind of. Why would she do that? Because everybody does podcasts. She's not a comedian. Yeah, but everybody's been on a podcast. Everybody's guested on a podcast. You don't think she's ever guested on
an investment banker?
Yeah, you don't think she's ever guested on like a Girl Boss podcast or something? I would love to. I mean, if you could pull that off. If you could pull that off, I would live an extra 4 months. I think it'd be a long shot, but it is worth a shot. But what I want to say about my pee-pee and my bladder, Michelle, is that today, before I left, my son takes really long dumps for some reason. Like, he goes to sit on the toilet, he's in there for like 20 minutes. He takes long showers and long dumps. I'm not sure what that's about. We gotta figure that out. But he was pooping in the bathroom, and I literally walked. We only have one bathroom in our house. I literally walked into the bathroom and I pissed in my shower. So I just want to let you know. I pissed in the drain. We all piss. Come on. Why is she doing that? You should see what she's doing with her face right now. She's embarrassed. She's acting like it's weird to piss in your shower. All boys piss in the shower, and sometimes we do it. Sometimes I do it even when the toilet is, available. Yeah.
You're not even taking a shower.
Not even taking. Yeah. I don't even step in the shower. I stand outside the shower, and I piss into it. Yeah. Not that often, but
It seems like more of a hassle.
Yeah,
we gotta use the shower. Of the black light for pee instead of
but there's not, because
it would be everywhere, and your bathroom is covered in pee.
Yeah, but there's not, because pee is sterile. Pee doesn't show up on a cum test. But can anybody actually? That's a good point though. Can anybody like buy a black light? I would just like to check if it's on like Deb's pocketbook or whatever. Or, our kitchen utensils. Our kitchen utensils or things like that. We all pee in our shower. Okay. That Indian guy dropped by his lawyer. I think we wish our beautiful queen the best, and good luck to that guy. Good luck to Chaya, whatever his name is. I guess his lawyer had represented some Weinstein accusers. Sometimes I get Epstein and Weinstein mixed up, But yeah, he had represented some Weinstein accusers, and that he dropped.
So he got excited. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be another hero."
He was like, "I'm gonna be a hero." Yeah,
it's like, never mind.
He's like, "I'm gonna be the face of nerds." Of nerds who get coerced into sex by their boss, because he convinced himself that he was coerced into. I do believe. I think in my heart of hearts, I believe they never even touched each other. Yeah.
I have to say that you were right. He is ugly. The other picture we saw last week, he looked like. I know.
Why were you like disagreeing with me?
Well, because there was a completely different.
He looks kind of good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Look, I mean, like, not my type, but like, you were acting like he was so ugly, and it was so impossible that he could have had an affair with this woman. Mm-hmm. But
No, he's pretty ugly.
Yeah, he's ugly. I mean, his headshot where he's looking at the camera dead on, that like all the new
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
see, like, this to me is fine. This is just a finance guy. Like, I've seen that guy. It's fine.
No, I know, but
then when I saw this,
like,
I was like, all right.
he's got like a rat. It looks like something you draw in art class.
He has
face.
senpaku also.
Some what?
He looks like he's gonna die like you.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so one thing I noticed, there was a little bit of discourse this week on Twitter about, what do you think it was about? Audiobooks. People are saying audiobooks are not reading. They go, some people are like, audiobooks does not count as reading. It's insane. It's insane to think otherwise. And, all I want to say to that is, dude, I'll never forget this. When I was in first grade, I was on the playground, and I went up to this group of kids. They were all hanging out. They were all sitting on this like chain ladder thing, right? And I walked up to the one girl and I go, hey, can I play with you guys? And she goes, oh, sorry, you have to have black jeans on to play with us. And I remember looking down at my pathetic, like my absolutely just pathetic dog shit, ugly. I really don't think I wore sweatpants for like 15 years after that. I just remember looking at my pathetic fucking pants. I had to check for a second, I had to check because I was wearing loser pants. And I went home and I said, Mom, you have to buy me black jeans. Mom, you have to buy me black jeans. I don't care. Get the money. Find a way to get the money. I will kill myself if I don't have black jeans, Mom, please. And I think I wore jeans pretty much every day after that. I mean, it was first grade. It wasn't kindergarten. It was first grade. I wore a lot of sweatpants. I do remember I wore a lot of sweatpants in kindergarten because I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on the show before, but I saw a kid's butt one day in the bathroom, and I was like scared of seeing his butt again. And I would just like piss myself because I didn't want to see this kid's butt. Wow. And I just remember like, dude, I just don't like butts. I don't want to see anyone's ass. I really don't want to see anyone's ass. Keep your ass to yourself, because if you don't, I'll piss myself. You might. No, I literally. It's 2:00 in the listen. It's 2:00 in the afternoon. We're going home. We're going home in an hour anyway. Okay. I would rather sit in my own pee. I would much rather sit in my own pee for an hour than to ever see your ass ever again. I don't want to see girls' asses. I don't want to see guys' asses. No asses.
Last week you told the story of the little girl.
Yeah. Right. If would you go back and listen to it? But yeah, a little girl showed me her ass and I snitched on her. I told the teacher because I said Samantha showed me her butt. So yeah, so what I'm getting at is, yes, kindergarten I did wear sweatpants, and then first grade only jeans from then on. But the audiobook thing is very strange to me because they go, it's not reading. It's not reading. And I'm thinking like, yeah, I guess it's not. I guess it's not reading. You're listening to something, and you can be illiterate to enjoy an audiobook. But what exactly is the argument that it's not reading? Like, is there like a sign? Is there like some kind of brain study that says that a different part of your brain is activated, or is there kind of like, I don't know. I don't think there's anything like some people. You tell them that you read an audiobook. You tell some people that you read an audiobook. But I say I read a book. Like, Michelle, come on. Please.
No. You're conflating two things. There's two things.
But I completed a book.
Yeah. There's two things here. Whether or not it's reading, and whether or not you completed a book.
But I would argue,
you did not read it, but it's also not better or worse. Listening versus reading. They are two different things, and you did not read that book. You listened to it. But
I understand.
They're different. But you don't want people to create a hierarchy about it.
Yes.
You're saying we should all be equal, readers and listeners.
We should all be equal.
You're like, I had a dream that the readers and the listeners would play together,
right,
in the playground, and everyone was wearing black jeans.
Because I get it. Like I don't have an ability to like sit down and read books. I truly don't. But like I just finished Against Empire by Michael Parenti. But it's like if I'm at a party and I say, oh, I just read this book, like it doesn't feel right to say I listened to a book. It feels pedantic to say I listened to a book. I listened to a book. Well, let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this: if you met a person in a wheelchair and they said,
"Here we go,"
I just took a walk through Prospect Park, right? Would you then go, you're insane. You're insane. You're making an ableism
You're saying
argument.
you don't have the ability, much like the person that doesn't have the ability to walk, you don't have the ability to read, so therefore you should be able to say you read the book when you listen to it, and he should be able to say he walked over there when he wheeled. Sure. Yeah. All right.
Because imagine this person, right? This guy in the wheelchair. He wasn't born paralyzed, right? He was like looking at his phone. He was on Instagram looking at a picture of a big fat ass because he wasn't smart like me. he was letting asses get the better of him, you know? And he was looking at his phone and he walked in the street, got hit by a bus. And then so then he gets a wheelchair and he goes to the park and he goes, "Oh, wait a minute. I forgot." Like he likes to go, he forgets that he loves nature so much. He loves nature so much that he forgets that he can't walk sometimes. You know? So he goes, "Listen, yeah, I was actually walking through the park the other day, like if you saw a guy in a wheelchair say that, would you then say, 'Sir, no, you weren't walking, you were wheeling yourself through the park. Sir, stop.'"
No,
you know?
And also I don't think anyone's doing this other thing.
Mm-hmm. What?
Like if you're at a party and you go, "I just read this book," and like no one's gonna walk over and be like, "Actually, Mike, you listen to it."
But I definitely bristle a little bit when people say, here's what people say. They go, audiobooks are not reading. That's what they say.
They're not, but they're still books.
But I just think, but
who
it's
cares?
But why are we
it's like not about like. I feel like you care more about the fact that like you've read this book as opposed to like the information that was in the book. Like, when you want to talk about a book with someone, you're not talking about the concept of reading with them. You're talking about whatever the book was about.
Mm-hmm. But we're just like
not like, oh, I finished 7 books. Like, who cares?
Yeah, but we're really just like splitting hairs here by being like it's not reading. Yeah. Because what is the argument? Like what are you? You're still.
You think it's like there's an elitism.
The information. There is an elitism because the information is still being taken in. So it just kind of people who sit home and read, as opposed to people who like take care of their son, take care of their babies, and they have an audiobook in their ear, and maybe the book's not getting their complete attention, but they never would have read that book. They never would have had time to read the book anyway if it wasn't done on the go. I mean, like,
I just feel like, who are you fighting with right now, though?
A couple whores on Twitter.
Yeah, okay,
a couple mean girls.
Okay, they're telling you didn't read the books you read.
No, a lot of them were saying like, yeah, I listen to audiobooks too, blah blah blah, but it's it's listening. But it really makes me bristle because it's like you're otherizing a thing that people.
But sometimes things are just other things.
Right, like a guy with Down syndrome is like an other thing, you know. So you think that like so imagine you go to Burger King. Imagine you go to Burger King and there's 2 employees there, right? Right? There's 2 employees and one of them is regular and the other one has Down syndrome. One of them is typically abled and the other one has Down syndrome. Okay. Right? Are you going to go to the one with Down syndrome, or are you going to go, "Hey, thanks, and by the way, you're not a real Burger King employee"? That would break his heart.
You're right. I wouldn't do that, but I just don't really see the connection.
I mean, I will acknowledge that, like, audiobooks, okay, if you want.
There's not, discrimination against people who listen to books, so, like, there's no, like.
Not yet.
Oh, I see. Okay, you're trying to get
first they came for the audiobooks, and and you didn't say anything.
And I didn't say,
you didn't back me up.
And I think it's okay to not say something for that. I'll say something on the next one.
Well, okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah. What exactly do you think the slippery slope is?
Huh?
Like, what exactly is the problem?
The slippery slope is that nobody.
You listen to a book. No one's like beating you up in the yard because you listen to a book. Good for you.
You're still kind of like otherizing it, I think. But if I made a list on my phone that said books I read this year, I can't put the audiobooks on there.
Of course, you can do whatever you want. No one cares.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
Actually, no, we should make a law that you can't use the word read.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're talking about audiobooks. That's in your imagination, this is where things are headed if you don't address this now.
But reading is the word. But if you consume all the words in a book, you read that book. But but reading is the the past tense of read. That's the term that we use when people finish a book, right? So it's like you when you say read a book, it's like synonymous for finishing a book.
The meanings of words are related to their history, and because for many, many years,
but language
you
evolves.
Couldn't listen to a book. I know. I'm just saying. I'm just explaining why.
Yeah.
I'm just. I guess I didn't see the tweets that you're talking about, so I don't see the issue. But maybe people are being like super elitist.
I saw a tweet that said.
Back.
I saw a tweet that said unpopular opinion, but audiobooks are not reading, and it's insane to think otherwise. Right. And I go, bitch, talk to me when you have children. Like I said,
well, can I just to be pedantic? It sounds like you saw a tweet that said audiobooks are not reading, and you heard or you read audiobooks are not valid at all, or audiobooks don't count. You didn't finish the book. You're stupid. But all they said is audio is not reading. It's not. I mean, obviously, this person's rage baiting, and then it's just engagement bait, and like.
But now everybody's doing it, so now it's like. But you know what? Can I tell you something? When I was a kid, I would get headaches when I read, and I like loved reading, and I had to go to the doctors to maybe get glasses, and then when I found out I didn't need glasses, I was like.
It's a special experience. It's different. Like I think it's different. I think it's better because well, it depends. I like audiobooks because I mean for obvious reasons because you can multitask.
Yeah.
But it's also like there's an added layer. Like you get another layer of information. You get the information that like this is what someone who reads audiobooks thinks this is supposed to sound like, and like you get to interpret the contents of the book itself, like from the author, and you also kind of get to interpret the choices that the like audiobook actor makes, and it's like another level of the experience. Like when you watch a movie, as opposed to reading the script, you like see actors' choices.
Well, that's really interesting because I read a Joan Didion book like a few years ago, and
I'm kidding.
No, you're right.
I'm just
okay. No, but see how clumsy that feels. I listened to a Joan Didion book.
It's just say read. Who cares?
All right. Yeah, I read. I listened to a book.
You feel
no,
like
I
you
literally feel like
I'm
being.
It's like stolen valor.
I feel like I'm being put in a ghetto, saying I listened to a book. I don't want to. I don't want to do it. I literally feel like someone saying, "Show me your papers."
I listened to an audio book. Who has the time to say that?
I feel
That's
like
so many syllables.
I literally
read a book.
I feel like I'm being sent to an ICE detention center when I say I listened to a book, but. I did listen to this Joan Didion audiobook. And the narrator was like really bad. She was very like, she would read the books and she almost sounded like every sentence she was feeling sorry for herself. And I go, I can't do this. But then I read it.
So you should have read it with your eyes.
Maybe I would have.
Your own choices.
Yeah, but I heard she was a little bit reactionary, Joan Didion. I heard she was a Republican. All right, last thing I'll say about this, and then we'll move on. When you see, if you, let's say tomorrow morning you walk out of your apartment, you're walking to the train, all right, and you see a little kid dressed up as Batman, right? Do you look at that little kid and you go, oh my God, are you Batman? Is that Batman? Or do you look at that kid and you go, by the way, you're technically not Batman. And it's insane to think that you're Batman. Just so you know. So it's almost like when you're doing reading essentialism, you're no different than like a transphobe or somebody who hates children. You're literally no different than a transphobe. Trans women,
these are the type of social justice issues that white people really start to fixate on.
What? Trans rights?
No, reading versus listening.
But I'm not. But I'm relating it to children's rights and the rights of trans
and that's
women.
what's funny. That's
Yeah.
what's funny is that you're
specifically
relating those things.
specifically black trans women.
We should
by the
make
way,
this our issue. Like
What?
this should be like our issue.
based on just shitty pedantic stuff like this. But what I'm saying is, I would imagine, right? Because we've established that we are a show we are a pro trans show, and I would imagine,
And
right?
now we're pro listeners as well.
And now we're pro listeners. And when you get to that sort of essentialism, right, then you go like, then you're excluding people. You're excluding parents like me who have babies to take care of, who by the way are listening to this book, consuming this media while they're like doing dishes. Okay, I think that trans women probably know that they're not. They know that they're not cis women. They know that they weren't born, in the gender that they feel that they are. So you don't need to remind them that they're different. So you don't need to remind trans women that they're different, and you don't need to remind listeners that they're not reading. Fuck you.
Period.
And that's all I have to say about that. All right. We have another story. Speaking of white guys, I want to move on to this one, Michelle. I think this is a good time to bring this up. A guy got stuck in a cave. A Brooklyn man got stuck in a cave in upstate New York. This is a very funny story. It says I love these stories because people white, I guess I don't want to be like, oh, white people. I don't want to be essentialist, white people. But white people stay getting stuck in caves. White people always stay getting stuck in caves, and nobody feels bad for you. It's so hard to feel bad for anybody who climbs a mountain and doesn't make it, or all these extreme sports. So it says a Brooklyn man exploring an upstate New York cave with his pals ended up so firmly jammed into a crevice that it took 6 hours in the dark and cold to get him freed, thanks to heroic state park rangers. Rangers got word of the harrowing situation inside Merlin's Cave in the town of Canaan around 6:30 p.m. on May 17th. State Department of Environmental Conservation officials said on Facebook last Friday. It wasn't until 9 p.m. that a rescue team was able to get to the site, and what they found was frightening. By then, the temperature had dropped to 50 degrees. Oh my God, it was 50 degrees. Oh my God, this guy needed a sweater. I was stuck in a cave. Without my Fial Raven fleece. Can somebody bring me my Patagonia vest? With 100% humidity, DEC Forest Ranger Lieutenant John Gullen said. There's still 3 buddies who were still with him, and they're trying to get him out, Gullen said. At this point, they've been in the cave for many hours, so they're all hypothermic. Why do people explore caves? What compels you to go? And I don't want to be. I like to be open-minded about stuff. I don't want to judge anybody's hobby. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, as they say. But what is it that compels you to like go down into a cave? What's down there? What's down there? Are there Asian women down there? Are there Korean girls down there in the cave? I mean, what's happening? What's some other thing? Is there Indian food down there, buddy? Huh? Is there a great Indian restaurant that only you know about, that you don't want the locals to find out about? Is there man, what do white guys even like these days? I don't even know. Is there a soul food restaurant down there that you have to go to? Is there a Jamaican restaurant? I think that's probably a thing. White guys love Jamaican food, right? Is there a backpack for your dog down there? Is there a woman with BPD? Is there a woman with BPD who brings her dog into Whole Foods down there? Is there a woman who saves up for tattoos down there?
Barefoot shoes. Have you been seeing that?
Yes. My friend Richard has those shoes, and he's like Puerto Rican, but he's got those shoes with the toes in them. What's the purpose of that? Now, what I want to know is how come you never see women wearing those shoes?
You're ugly as fuck. Well, we have tabbies.
Probably because we'd all start jacking off on the street if girls wore those shoes, you know. What are tabbies?
I have a pair of tabbies.
Oh,
They're
okay.
just like
they're like open toed.
No. It's like the barefoot shoes are like all toes, like 5. Tabbies is just the first one separate from the other 4. You've seen it.
Okay.
You've seen it.
What's down there, buddy? A Yeti thermos? Because you don't have 6 already. What's down there? More stickers for your Yeti thermos? Okay, you get the gist. This is what the park ranger said. He was really jammed in there more than I had expected. Golan said, "It's like his full body was stuck in a crevice that was basically designed the exact shape of him."
I feel like you see those videos where it's like, oh, they show the crack, and it's like, oh, we're never gonna get through there, and then they do. Like,
no,
I bet this guy was down there creating content. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
That why are you there?
Right. Oh man, what a world. Yeah. Creating content for who? My 4-year-old? My 5-year-old? Just stuff for my kid to watch on the train and be like, Daddy, Daddy, I bet I could fit down there. Yeah. Too fat. I'm too fat to explore caves. It's one of the nice things about gaining weight, and that's about being 38 and getting fat, is that you can't, no caves. You're like, fly, you fools. That's a Lord of the Rings reference. Fuck. You'd be laughing really hard. Was it good? Yeah, if you were a fat pussy like me who liked Lord of the Rings, you'd be laughing really hard at that reference. Yeah, Gandalf fights the Balrog in the cave. They go through the caves, and then he fights a big monster with his magic. They're both like throwing magic at each other. Which I never understood how that worked, you know? Magic fights, like whenever you see like a fantasy thing, like who do I know who to root for? Like who's got the better magic? Like this guy's throwing blue beams and this guy's throwing red beams, and somehow like one of you is more powerful. Like, I don't know. Make that make sense.
Make it make sense. The only thing I know about Lord of the Rings is that Palantir named their company after it.
Yes. I think that it's like the bad guys used it for evil. Wow. Because Gandalf has there's another wizard named Saruman who's like really wise, but he becomes evil. He just becomes evil. But he's a pretty good villain. And Gandalf fights him on a... Never mind. All right, never mind.
It's okay. This is for the audience, not for me.
He fights him on the roof, but they fight with their magic. They throw each other around with their magic. But those magic fights, like I said, they're confusing because you're like, who has the better? On? What's even going on here? Who's got
Lord
the better
of the Rings,
magic?
Or did you watch it?
I did read it.
Did you listen, or did you read it?
No, I read it.
Yeah,
I read it in study hall, but I didn't. I read the books, and the books.
They're for kids, right?
No, not American kids.
Okay.
In fact, there's bonus content on the DVD, and there's the guy who was he was the son of the guy who published it, and he was like, my father would just sometimes give me manuscripts, and he'd give me a shilling for my report of the book, and I reviewed The Hobbit for my father, and I said The Hobbit is a delightful story for any child between the ages of 5 and 9, and The Hobbit is like a book. It's like a book, you know. Not like Americans, it would have to be like between like 14 and like 47. You know? Yeah. But so what they did was they got this guy, he's in the cave, and he said once we were able to get to a point where we could high five, we were high fiving. He said it's a feeling that I wish everyone could experience because there's nothing like it. So what they did was they got like a rock drill. I guess the ranger showed up, and the ranger stayed with the guy, and these guys got a rock, and they started drilling into the cave because this guy was like so stuck in the cave. Have you ever been stuck in something? No? There's an Instagram like content creator, and I guess her fridge fell on her this week. She's like an Instagram creator. Her name is Laura Cleary, and I guess like her 600-pound fridge. My 600-pound fridge. Her fridge like fell on top. I don't know how, but I heard that story. I was like, how did this happen?
Well, was there a video of it?
Well, of course, she like grabbed her. I'm sure she grabbed her phone and started filming it. Yeah, she like called 911, and then she was recording like when the paramedics got there. 600 pounds is like, imagine like 2 Debs.
Funny. I guess fridges are pretty heavy. Well, have you ever had to move one when you were moving? No.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
600?
And it does. but I don't. It doesn't feel like 600
feels like a lot.
Because I feel like a fridge is like. I mean, because you can as a one mover can probably carry like 150 pounds comfortably. But I mean, you're straining to do that, but you can do it. But like, yeah, what is a 600-pound? I don't even know. Like the only thing that I know that's 600 pounds are like the people from TLC. Right. That's the only thing I can think of that's 600 pounds. Yeah. So I couldn't, possibly. Oh my gosh, my 600-pound fridge. The doctor's like, you're holding too much food and you have too much. You're disgusting fridge. So they got a drill and they got this guy out. Yeah, I wonder what it looked like because you got to remove a lot of.
Should we do like Recine cave exploring episode?
I guess we can. Yeah.
We like try to find some rocks in Central Park.
Yeah.
For you to get stuck in. I'll bring olive oil. To slide you out when you get stuck.
Today's video is brought to you by Filippo Barrero olive oil. Imagine you're doing one of those videos where like when those guys explore like the Hasidic neighborhoods, and you get stuck under a bus. You get stuck under one of their buses. And you're like, I'm trapped under I'm trapped under a giant school bus with 4 children on it, and I can't figure out how to get out of here. Once we were, and then he said, it's a feeling that I wish everyone could experience because there's nothing like it. I guess, or I guess just like hanging out with your boys. Once we were able to get to a point where we could high five, we were high fiving. He said, it's a feeling that I wish everyone could experience because there's nothing like it. I guess
this is the ranger or the guy?
I think this is the guy. I guess he's talking about high fiving your boys is like a great experience. Getting to hug your boys. I kiss my boys on the lips, just as a special. Sometimes I throw stuff out and I think it's going to go somewhere and it doesn't. No, it's okay. I mean, it's just your reaction is your reaction. Oh, sorry. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. I'm surprised sometimes I do find myself surprised at what doesn't always hit with you. I said, kiss your boys on the lips and it got nothing. And I said, okay, well, that's not going to, How would I describe podcasting? It's kind of like, imagine we're on a railroad car together and you stopped pumping your side. But that maybe I was pumping wrong. Maybe I was pumping the railroad car the wrong way. Well, I got other stuff here that will hopefully make you laugh.
Oh my God, that's so much pressure, but okay.
No, but I'm saying I came prepared. I have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, but don't be monitoring for my reaction because it's not even about me. It's about the audience.
All right, fine. A crazed Arizona mom gunned down her 2 children in a shocking murder-suicide after shooting a woman who'd been with her husband at a bar, according to cops. Andrea Clarice Davis, 38, drove to Tailgater's Sports Bar and Grill in Glendale just after Monday night and shot her husband of 12 years, Nolan Davis, 39, and a 36-year-old woman. He was outside, police told the Arizona family. The other woman, who had not been identified, was shot in the back of the head as she got into her car to flee, according to Glendale police spokesperson Jose Santiago. So this woman, the article said this woman who was shot in the back of the head is expected to survive. So the article said that they knew that the husband knew this woman, but they're not exactly sure the relationship. I mean, nobody, it's not like, hey, can we should we play this game of beer pong? And then your wife, I'm sure. But the mom had been tormented by the belief that her husband had been cheating on her with a coworker, according to Andrea's best friend, Amy Bowers. The mom had been tormented by her belief that her husband had been cheating on her with a coworker, according to Andrea's best friend, Amy Bowers. This relationship completely made her lose her mind, Bowers told told Arizona family. They haven't had anything like this come up, and so I think the shock of that is just a lot for her. She was just not feeling good, and she's been asking for help from everybody like it's not been secret. She added, I feel really bad. Nobody was thinking about the kids the whole time. Andrea was stressed because Nolan was talking about leaving, and she was like, what am I supposed to do with these kids? Bowers said. Okay, this is the problem with life in 2026. Okay, when you're a married couple. When I was a kid, I remember some of my friends, their parents would start to get divorced. My friend Jason, his parents got divorced. Um, you know, his dad. I just remember what I remember about that family was that they lived in a house together for a brief amount of time. He had two older sisters and a younger brother. The dad moved out. The dad was really into Pontiacs, and he smoked cigarettes, and he wore hats with the cigarettes, the name of the cigarette on the hat. You forget that people did that. You should do that. You should bring that back. People literally bragged about which cigarettes they smoked. But he was like a cigarette guy, Mr. Krasny. Well, Joe Camel was like the most popular character like of all time.
He's so dreamy.
Yeah.
He's so hot.
He's like the number one selling advertising mascot. We don't know anything about him. All we know is that he's surrounded by beautiful camel women. He's got a lot of friends, but he never like talked or anything. He was always just kind of like he was only a visual. He wasn't like Chester Cheeto where he goes through different iterations. They were like, that was a very popular ad campaign. Like that. No, I'm sorry. That was a very confident ad campaign. They said it's Joe Camel. It's just pictures. Sometimes he wears a tuxedo. Sometimes he wears a green suit. Sometimes he's near the pool. That's it. Sometimes he wears a leather jacket, and he doesn't talk. And there's mystery around Joe Camel. Anyway, where was I? I'm going off on a tangent here. The Krasnys got divorced. I don't know where Mr. Krasny went, but I assumed he moved somewhere. He's no longer with us. He passed away a few years ago. But the point is, I'm sure he found somewhere to go. I'm sure he found somewhere to live. I don't think he moved in with his mother. I'm like, did I think that did I remember him moving in with his mother? No, I don't think so. But it wasn't like, it was just the Krasnys got divorced. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I have to kill my family now. And then, when my uncle got divorced, he divorced my aunt, who's like the mother of I had older cousins. He divorced my aunt. My aunt, as far as I know, I don't think she worked. I think she just kind of lived off his alimony. So my uncle's a doctor, so he was just able to pay for his new wife, get a new wife, and then support his other wife, who I think lives in Denver now, but I think she lived in Vegas for a long time because that's where they all lived. So she just had an apartment in Vegas where she lived as an alcoholic. My Aunt Donna, possibly, yeah. But it's not like she went back to work or anything. She was just like, I'm gonna sit here and drink, The other divorce that I remember, this is late 90s. This is season 8 of The Simpsons. I'm not sure what year season 8 came out. I would guess, 97, 98 perhaps. But there's an episode where Milhouse's parents get divorced. It's a great episode. And there's Homer. There's a scene where Homer famously goes over to Kirk Van Houten's new apartment, and he's living in this condo community of divorce. He's living in this apartment complex that has divorced men in it. Okay, another divorce in pop culture. Mrs. Doubtfire. If you watch Mrs. Doubtfire, he goes. They have this nice house in San Francisco, and he goes and he lives in this. He goes to live in this dump, this terrible apartment that's literally no offense, but it's like a 3-bedroom apartment. If you watch Mrs. Doubtfire, it's twice the size of it's twice the do that. That's the signal. It's twice the size of bigger than your place and my place put together in San Francisco in the early 90s. Another example, I was watching the movie Man of the House recently. That's a movie also about divorce. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, he's a kid, and Farrah Fawcett is his mom, and his dad leaves him. And the story is that, my mom and I decided to move out of our house and go rent this loft apartment downtown, and it was really gross at first, but my mom made it nice. And they walk into the. You got to watch the movie Man of the House on it's on Disney Plus. But they walk into this fucking loft apartment. It's a loft, this dumpy loft downtown. It's, this disgusting loft. And it's 2 bedrooms. It's a 2-bedroom loft with these high ceilings, and it's painted. And then when Homer goes to visit Kirk Van Houten in his divorced man's apartment, there's a famous line where Kirk Van Houten goes, "I sleep in a racing car, do you?" He's got like a race car bed. And then his friends come over and they go, "Hey, Kirk, a possum drowned in the pool last night." And he goes, "Throw it over the fence. Let Arby's deal with it." But what I'm getting at is that back in the 90s, when our boomer parents were middle-aged, you could get divorced. It wasn't pretty, but dad could move out of the house and dad could find a place to live, and you and mom could go get your own little apartment together where you probably shared a bed, or dad could go get his 3-bedroom apartment in San Francisco. That's probably that particular apartment is probably $8,000 today. I mean, like conservative estimate, probably about $8,000. And now, I mean, this story it really kind of stuck with me because she said, she goes, "What am I supposed to do with the kids?" Because now we're in a position where, like, if I'm only speaking for myself here, and I'm not going to get divorced. But if I were to get divorced, I would have to kill my family. I mean, I don't think there's any other options. Like life in 2026. If you have most people can't afford to have kids, but to get divorced, I think you literally have to walk your family into the Canadian suicide machine to make that work. You have to end there's nowhere to go. There's no housing, there's no savings, there's no
Wait, well, why would you kill your family?
You would kill your family because you're getting divorced. But there's nowhere like a family.
But how would that help you?
It would help you a lot because it would you wouldn't have to pay for anything. There's nowhere to go. Like if Deb,
wouldn't you want to keep
Deb
her
cheated,
alive because she would be the one giving you child support?
Oh, is that true?
Well, it sounds like she's the breadwinner. You're waiting for her paycheck, as we established at the beginning of this episode.
Yes,
she's paying for both of you.
Yes,
if you got divorced, you're not paying her $0. She'd be paying you.
Yes, Michelle. In this particular 3-year increment of our marriage, she's the breadwinner.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like our family cannot. Not that we're in any danger or anything, but like our family, all hypothetical. But our family cannot split up because there would quite literally be nowhere for anybody to go. Like that's. Because aren't they developing a suicide machine in Canada? Doesn't Canada have like a suicide machine? I think so because people who are I think what's happening in Canada is people can't afford to live, so the government kills them. The government is like killing them, but with a suicide machine though. It's not like inhumane, like they shoot you or anything. It's it's very peaceful. It's just like going to sleep, Like it's not
What is this machine's purpose when we have drugs?
You go to heaven because the government did it. Because Jesus was a socialist. Jesus believed in strong government. Right. So this suicide machine ensures that you go to heaven. But that's my take, is that divorce is truly like not an option these days. You cannot get divorced. You have to, the economy is bad. The stakes are too high. You have to you have to make it. You have to be successful. You have to have a successful marriage. It's either, listen, kids, if me and your mother, if your mother doesn't start sucking my dick, we all have to go to the suicide machine. Kids, you're old enough to understand this. You kids are old enough to understand this. You have to, your mother is, me and your mom need some alone time. Me and your mom are going to Holiday Inn this weekend to reconnect. And if that doesn't, because if we get divorced, it is the government. We're gonna put you in the little suicide machine, and me and your mom are going in the big suicide machine. And if we can't get a spot in the suicide machine, I'm gonna have to drive to North Carolina and buy a suicide machine. If you catch my drift, it's a gun. We're gonna take a nice little trip to Vermont and buy a suicide machine. Anyway.
Sarcopod. The sarcopod, sometimes referred to as a suicide pod, is a euthanasia device or machine consisting of a 3D printed detachable capsule mounted on a stand that contains a canister of liquid nitrogen to die by suicide through inert gas asphyxiation. Sarco is short for sarcophagus.
Is that peaceful though?
It just seems unnecessary. It's like someone invented something that did not need to exist. Like, just take a pill, right? Don't we have that already?
But I just feel like every way to die is probably painful.
Like, why do we need this like stupid looking pod? Look at that
pod. Yeah,
someone's like, "Don't worry, I made an invention, so it's fine."
Yeah, they're like it has heated seats. Actually, it reclines.
Many people will not consider euthanasia by suicide bag for aesthetic reasons, or may feel claustrophobic inside a bag. So this is better.
Yeah.
The Sarco was developed to address these objections.
You know when you're at the airport?
If you want to kill yourself, no offense, like if you're going to kill yourself, like your life's about to end, like just deal with the claustrophobia.
Yeah.
Like I want to kill myself, but I can't.
Right.
Claustrophobic for 5 minutes. Sorry, it's not funny, but like.
Right.
It just seems like a made up problem that actual suicidal people never had, that this company was like, no, this is solving a very important problem.
Yeah.
People who want to kill themselves, the thing they hate the most actually is feeling claustrophobic.
And then how long until we start seeing these pods at the airport? There's going to be like a breastfeeding pod and a suicide pod. And people are going to be like, just, mother's going to go in there. Be like, oh my God, this is the suicide. I thought this was the breastfeeding pod. It's the suicide pod.
Oh my God, you walk in, someone's tits around. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to kill myself. But actually, maybe I don't want to kill myself anymore. But you know what? I guess there are some good.
Is the father in the picture?
You're just looking at a giant, like chewed up nipple, like a chewed up brown nipple, and a saggy tit that's full of milk, and you're like, man, I guess truly vita è bella.
I mean, it's really beautiful circle of life shit.
Yeah.
You forgot what it was all about, and then suddenly you're transported back to being a baby, and you're sucking on your mom's tit, and you're like, maybe I do want to live.
You're like, Mom, I'm sorry for the things I said. Life is too short. I need to come see you. Mama, I need to come see you and the suck of your breast. I don't want to kill myself no more. Mama, I just saw a titty at the airport. I don't want to kill myself no more. All right, come join us over on Patreon, huh? Patreon.com/Recine Time. We'll see you over there. $5 a month gets you a free episode, an additional episode every
Users of the Sarco can choose either a dark or a transparent view from the capsule. The transparent view is chosen if they wish to transport the machine to a particular location to see a certain vista from the machine.
Mm-hmm.
The inventor feels that where you die is certainly an important factor. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. Have people done that?
I don't think it's like in use.
Right.
Some guy in 2017 invented it.
He's like, gee golly, Linda, what's my suicide machine? Once they can use my suicide machine, we're going to be rich. I'm going to get you everything you ever wanted.
Now, is the government going to subsidize the trip to wherever you want to go to die?
Yeah. Right.
Because maybe you could just pretend you want to kill yourself, get a free trip to a beautiful.
And then why is it always suicide machine and never suck my dick machine? No, really. I mean, it's like if we weren't run by oligarchs, what maybe the government could make suck my dick machines instead of suicide machines.
Wait, they have that. Right?
What?
Don't they have that? I heard it on a podcast.
Yes, they have that.
Auto
but
blow.
It's not.
It's like a podcast
Sure.
advertiser.
Yes, they do.
We should
they
see if
probably
maybe.
do have
Actually,
it.
we should use the clip that
We
you
should
just
use the clip that's beautiful. Yeah, perfect.
tell them sponsor.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, they do have them, but they should be subsidized by the government. Yeah. You know, when Gaddafi took over Libya, he nationalized the oil and gave everybody a free suck my dick machine. And that's why the oligarchs had to get rid of him, because everybody just got free college, but they didn't really go to class because they were all getting their dick sucked by toys. All right, join us on Patreon, huh? Patreon.com/Recine Time. See you next week. Bye-bye.
You want to just roll right in?